So I just did a quick little podcast with my son Aiden, and talking about how being a Mets fan has had its ups and downs, and what we need to do next season, and how we're going to go about it. But I like to say this: I go on these videos and I rant and rave. I go crazy. I say my team this, my team that, your team stinks, and I never really say it like that. But I think being a fan of sports teams. Now I was looking into that a little bit today, and a lot of wives out there. Not really my wife. My wife gets it actually. Shannon, she watched the Met game with us, and football. She watched the big games, and she sees the torture that me and Aiden go through as being Met fans and Jet fans. But she's definitely a good sport. LOL about it. But anyway, being a sports fan to me, and I think to a lot of people, is there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. Who's going to be our president in a couple of weeks? If you guys think like me, I think that you know, 3 weeks from now, there's going to be a lot of shit going on. And I just hope it doesn't interfere with our sports, because being a fan of a sport or being a fan of a team, it allows you to get behind something that you really have no control over. Like, I don't have control over Pete Alonso hitting a home run in that situation, but you could hope that he does. Pete Alonso doesn't hope that he strikes out, but that's a lot of weight being put on these guys. And let's just take out the aspect of all the money and greed and this, that, and the other thing. Just talking about the human element of watching a sporting event or being a fan of a team. Now, like I was trying to get into before, it gets you away from the hustle and bustle of all the bullshit of, again, who's going to be our president, what's going to happen. Our economy sucks, job market sucks. How am I going to pay for this? Inflation's through the roof. The migrants, where are they? What's happening? Donald Trump is telling me that they're eating our pets. And Kamala Harris is saying, I don't know what the hell she is saying, but that is a whole other topic for another podcast. But I don't know what the hell is she saying. If you watch the video that I did, that America is being forced to vote for Donald Trump, and I believe that, because I don't know what you guys think that you're looking at on the other side, but it's not working now, and it's not going to work going forward. We need a little toughness. Yeah, we're going to take some hits, normal people, normal independent views, and down the road, and wants just pretty much everybody just to get along. We're going to take some hits, but you know what, though? I think him becoming our president is the stronger choice. We have to get rid of this narrative right now. It's a country where very divided. And again, that's another topic, for another podcast. But sports gets us away from that. Being able to sit on the couch on a Friday night, watch a Met game with my wife and my two kids, and they know exactly what that's for too. Just to watch the game, and we have no control over it. So we become fans, and that we have to be thankful for. We're very passionate. I put a video out the other day, said, I'll see you in the fucking Bronx. The only way I'm going to see anybody in the Bronx right now is if I buy a ticket to Yankee Stadium. But that's where fandom gets you. Fandom gets you to a point where you're part of something. I think it's more tribal than anything. A tribal feeling of this guy or this girl is going through the same torture that I'm going through right now, or joy, or sadness, or hope, or there's the same conversation that I'm having with my son right now about who we're going to get next year, how much money we're going to give Juan Soto, is going on in another living room 15, 20, 30 miles away from here with a father and a son, or buddies in a bar. Sports allows us to talk about everything else other than what's going on that we have no control over. So, I love Francisco Lindor. The guy had a tremendous, and I mean tremendous, I mean MVP, tremendous playoffs. Got big home runs, got big hits, made big plays in the field, became a leader of the New York Mets this year. And when he strikes out with the bases loaded, you think to yourself at that moment, shit. But then you're like, it's a game of percentages where if you bat 300, you're considered a Hall of Famer. And it just wasn't there for that moment. There was other moments there. He hit some of the biggest home runs you'll ever see anybody hit in a Mets uniform, as did Pete Alonso. So to say that these guys didn't go out there and give everything that they had, because both teams out there gave everything they had and are giving everything they have right now. The Dodgers are just a behemoth and a juggernaut of a lineup. And you know me, I'm all over Francisco Lindor being the MVP because he's got an amazing glove. And to say he's not even a finalist for the Gold Glove, that fucking irks me like you wouldn't believe. But to say that, and to say that, it's good thoughts. This team became a team this year, and they got further than I thought they were going to get. But it just made it that much nicer once they pushed past one milestone. If they could get past this one, if they could get past this one. Well, they got stopped last night by a Los Angeles Dodgers baseball team that is a bunch of assassins in that lineup. And anybody that thinks that Shohei Ohtani is not that good, he's that good. Unbelievable. If it wasn't for Godzilla over there in Los Angeles, maybe Francisco Lindor might have gotten the MVP. But snubbed for the Gold Glove is a little crazy. But I personally just want to say thank you, New York Mets, for giving us something to hope for, giving us something to put our confidence in, that you guys are going to come through and make our night good, make us smile, knowing we got to get up for work the next day or knowing whatever we have to do the next day. But knowing for that night, you made us happy. Or for that night, we took that loss so bad that it affected our sleep. I can tell you one thing, that I was at that watch party with my son. They beat the Brewers. And when Francisco Lindor, that home run, and when Pete Alonso hit those home runs, that feeling me and my son had of just pure joy and yelling and screaming, and just saying he did it, and just jumping around with other Met fans from all walks of life, young kids, older men, young women, older women, married couples, bachelor parties. These people were there cheering for the New York Mets, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. So, Steve Cohen, thank you for putting this group of guys together. I don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks, but I'm not that guy who talks about we should have done this, or we should have this guy, or should trade that guy, or whose contract, or is Pete Alonso going to be a Met? I don't want to talk about that stuff until baseball season is over. Baseball season right now is over in my eyes because it was just taking that much to heart. I don't know if I could watch the World Series, and I might get a little hate for that, but baseball season died last night with the definite possibility of it arising next April to be a bigger and better version of what was happening this year at Citi Field. So, Steve Cohen, thank you. David Stern, I had faith in you from the beginning. I knew what you were going for, and I knew what you were going to do. My coach, I killed you in the beginning of the season because I didn't know who you were. I knew you were a bench coach with the Yankees, with that Yankee organization for a long time. Mr. Mendoza, hats off to you personally for a fantastic baseball season this year. And thank you for making these guys play their asses off for you, because you were the vehicle that put all that into place. You were given these players and said, make this work. And you did, all the way up until the LCS. So thank you, Carlos Mendoza, for being a great leader of that baseball team. And next year, you step onto that field, know that That's only the beginning. We're going to push forward, and this team is just going to get bigger and better. All right, guys. So that's my good night to the New York Mets. We'll see you next year.